Hi guys, today we're going to be exploring slides, flips and rotations of 2D shapes. Now not 3D objects, they're something different. Today we're doing 2D shapes that have an X and a Y plane only. Now your learning intention is to describe and undertake slides, flips and rotations of shapes. And your success criteria is that you'll be able to describe and undertake slides, flips and rotations of shapes. So let's get started. Alright, the first thing we're going to look at is slides shapes. Now slides is pretty much what it sounds like. We're going to slide our shape. Now looking at our triangle here, remember our triangle is a three-sided shape. We're going to slide our triangle to the side. Now when we slide our triangle, it moves position. Now the position of the triangle changes and moves across. But the rotation and the orientation of the object does not change. It is just a simple slide. As you can see, our corners and our edges all remain in the same orientation. They are just simply moved or slid to one direction to the other. So we can slide it all the way across. Let's try another slide with our rectangle. Same thing. The orientation doesn't change, but the position does. There's no rotation. Just a simple slide across. Alright, let's move on to our next shape, which is our flip. Now our flip, which we've already shown on this top one, is almost a mirror. So what happens is when we flip our object starts on one side and it flips over. Now it's not like a backflip, but it's a flip over and a mirroring of our object. Now as you can see with our triangle, when we flip our object, the corners are now opposite. There's no rotational change. It doesn't turn and rotate, but it does change the position and flip the orientation. Let's have a look at what the flip does for our rectangle. Now, when we're flipping, we need to make sure that we're flipping along an axis. Now, an axis is a straight line. Not very much like that one, but it's a straight line. So we're going to flip our rectangle around the axis that we've got here. So flip it over. Now the shape width stays the same, the shape length stays the same. All we're doing is we're flipping it over the axis. Let's move forward to our next one, is a rotate. Now a rotate doesn't change the position of the shape, but it does change the orientation. So let's have a look at our triangle, again our three-sided shape. And we're going to rotate him around. So let's rotate him from the center. Now as you can see, we've rotated that triangle around and we've rotated that 90 degrees all the way around. Now I'm going to move it to the side so you can see its rotation. Now remember, its position hasn't changed, but its rotation has. So the point of our triangle that was here has now moved to the top. The point of the triangle that was on the bottom has now moved to the side. And the point of the triangle that was on the top has now moved to the bottom. Let's have a look and see what a rotation does on our rectangle. Remember, our position doesn't change, but our orientation does. Now, for clarity, again, I'm going to move our rectangle out to the side. As you can see, the corner that was on our top has rotated to move to the top on the other side. Our corner that has moved from this bottom has now moved up to here. Our corner that was here has now moved to this position. And our corner that was here has now moved to the bottom. So you are rotating a shape. Let's have a go by yourselves. Have a look at these pictures. Tell me, which one is a slide, which one's a rotate, and which one's a flip? I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to have a think about that. Alright, let's have a look at this one down the bottom with our oranges. What do you think? Slide, rotate, or flip? Let's move it across to have a look. Yep, that's right, it's a flip. And if you look at it, it's actually flipped through an axis of about there, if Mr. Jukes had a straight line. Let's have a look at our pairs. You know, he's an angry pair. Do you think he's a flip, a slide, or a rotate? Let's have a look. That's right, he's a slide, because if you look, his orientation has stayed the same, but his position has moved and slid across. All right, that means our last one of our little pink duck, he must be a rotate. As you can see, I've moved him across, but he has been rotated around. Girls and boys, what I want you to do in your packs for this week, you have a 10 gram. I want you to cut that 10 gram up, use the shapes. I want you to put the 10 gram back together and put a photo of that up on to Seesaw. Now, when you're doing that, I want you to think about how you're sliding, how you're flipping, and how you're rotating your shapes to make that 10 gram work. Girls and boys, today, our learning intention was to describe and undertake slides, flips, rotations of shapes. And your success criteria was that you can describe and undertake slides, flips, and rotations of those shapes. Now, once you show us on Seesaw, I'm sure you'll be able to meet that success criteria. Have a great day. Bye for now.